Start.
Alright, we're Weekly Metal Reviews. We're here to talk about I Declare Warriors Malevolence. This album came out in 2010 on RW Recordings. This is like brutal deathcore with some like death metal elements to it. Yeah. Who wants to go first?
This album's really heavy. It features the old vocalist actually before he left, and he's in the band Pathology right now, which we just fucking reviewed their CD, so you should go fucking check it out. This Call of Duty game won't start, and I'm mad. But yeah, the guitar work. This band is very simplistic, and that can be a good thing. Like this band is very simplistic, and it's just heavy as fuck. It's straight to the point. It's like a kick right to the balls and a like steel pipe shoved up your ass and then like through your mouth, and you die, and then you just listen to this, and then you get punched in the face after all that. It's just a heavy as fuck album. The guitars are very simplistic. Like I said, drumming's really good. The vocals are just heavy as hell. If you want something heavy and just raw and heavy, buy this album.
Yes. This is probably the heaviest deathcore album, maybe. Well, I don't know. It's
I
definitely
the
up
of the
there.
year.
Yeah,
Heaviest album of the year.
yeah. This album, it's just like it has parts like this that are even just like groovy. Jonathan's vocals, I really like them a lot better than the stuff he does in Pathology, to be honest with you, because you can understand what he's saying on this album. Yet his vocals are really low and brutal, like this. You know, that's just brutal. Like Zach said, this band's just simple, which is just, it's like taking taking a concrete block and just smashing it over the head. That's pretty much what it is. It may be violent, but this album is a violent album. It's just
negative and violent.
It's just awesome. Like the vocals just add to the heaviness, in my opinion. It's just like a hurricane eating you. You know, it's just like a really, really, really fat person breathing. You know, it's just heavy. I don't really know how much detail I can go into this because it's just heavy. I mean, we saw them live too, and they punched us all in the face. You know, they just took like a big rubber hammer and just hit us. You know,
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my whole life.
Shut up! It was like the next William Shakespeare.
Billy Shakespeare.
But it's just, I don't know. This is just a good album from start to finish, from Malevolence to Fractions. It's just awesome. They use some leads too, which is pretty cool, like in putrefaction of the population. You know, it's pretty awesome. You got like leads at the beginning. It's just awesome. Like their breakdowns are simple, but they're so freaking heavy. They've got such a like really dirty guitar tone. You know, it's really naughty. It's cool. But yeah, Samuel.
Alright, I got this album not too long ago, and
From
I
me.
started listening to it, yeah, for Christmas. But I really listened to it a lot, like over and over. And I guess to start to finish with this band, like it starts out with like one of those intro songs that's like an instrumental, and it's just, I don't know, it starts out with this like, you know, one of those normal really suspenseful things. Then it like breaks into this really generic kind of, it's heavy, but it's like really generic, plain, simple breakdown. And like, I want to be like critical of this album. I love this album, I love this band, but I kind of want to like, for once, really judge them a little bit.
They're very simple and stupid.
Like, I don't know, yeah, they're heavy and everything. I mean, they're really heavy. But
They're really
to
heavy.
start off with that, I mean, they break into this really generic, simple breakdown, and it's like, I guess from there they have like Tyler said some really like interesting, good leads in their songs and everything, and like it's really aggressive, really like I don't know if it's heavy anymore. It's really like just I don't know.
Groover.
I guess yeah, it's just aggressive, and there's fast and there's slow parts, and like I don't know. All right, John's vocals, I really like them because they're really low and they're really brutal, I guess, the word you use for it. But like I feel like they're so, in a way, they're kind of stagnant, sort of. Like, you know, like he'll be like screaming or something. It's kind of like at that one pitch for like a while, like that. Like, I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. It's just like
That's one thing the new vocalist adds to the band.
yeah, he has
It's
a
not
lot of
off
like
topic.
pitch, but
Yeah.
like it just seems like John just kind of has that like really stagnant like pitch and everything. You know, like I really like them though. It's just yeah, he has that really stagnant pitch, and the rest of this, I guess, yeah, plain and simple, heavy. I like their instrumental. One thing
Both
about
of them are pretty good.
yeah, well, technically, oh yeah, I guess they're both instrumentals really. One has like a couple, like him yelling about something. That's one thing. It just like
yelling about something.
it kind of makes me think it's like, just like his like stagnant like tone. It just reminds me of like someone really just like yelling, just like bruh. But like,
What do they do?
I don't know, they're just like yelling.
What
Like,
do they
it's not really like screaming or whatever. I just like, I don't know, for some reason it's just in my mind he's like yelling. Because I guess he's like pissed off and stuff. Like, one thing I was reading about this album, like, an interview with John, and like, he was saying like, for this album, one thing lyrically, I guess it's about events, like things around the world. Because he said like, the world isn't, he said the world is like, really not in a good place. Like the world's like going to crap, and it's like the peak of humanity is being
But the
reached
world's
and
made of
everything.
dirt.
And like everything's kind of going downhill in the world, and like if you read the lyrics, like it really focuses on a lot of things like that, like world issues, like I don't know, it's just kind of like that like really that misanthropy kind of opinion.
Dog shit.
But like, I don't know, it's still a good album in my opinion. Like the bad things, I guess, or the bad things you can look at, it's like plain, simple, generic. John's vocals are kind of just, like, they don't really, there's no highs in this. And it's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying there's like no highs. His voice just kind of like stays that same tone. But the good things are like it's like really catchy at parts. Like some parts will stay in your head all day, and it's really, really something that you can get into if like you're really pissed off, or even if you're not pissed off. And I guess I'll give this album an 8.5 out of 10.
Hell, I have a quick thing. Although I really like this album, I do feel like some songs are just kind of like unforgettable.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that song just sounded like the song before it, you know?
Unforgettable.
Yeah. Did I say unforgettable?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah,
You
forgettable.
fucked up. No
Nah.
mistake is required.
Yeah. But just some songs, like, if you put it on, I would know it's I Declare War. I would know it's from this album,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't know what it's called. You know, it's just, it has its forgettable moments and songs, but then it has, like, the songs that you remember are, like Sam said, they're really catchy. You know, they'll get stuck in your head. They're, you know, you'll remember them, you know?
And one thing I think about this band is like it shows that simplicity can be brutal. Like
Yeah.
how if you like you can like be simplistic and brutal, but sometimes being like brutal and simplistic is like way heavier than the Cannibal Corpse album.
Yeah.
This song, Conformed Fiction, it really reminds me of Oceano in a lot of ways. Just
Yeah.
like you listen to the song like right off the bat, it's just like, it just reminds me of Oceano.
The
Yeah.
vocals in this are very similar between I Declare War and Oceana.
Although, like, if you listen to Oceano, like Contagion, any song off of that, like Adam Warren, like he has those really brutal lows, but then he can go medium. He can even
It's
go
just
high.
piercing highs that blow
Then
your
he
ears
has
out
like
live.
range.
This album doesn't really, like, it has some fast moments, but it's more like, I don't know, slow, mid-paced, brutal, you know. Brutal's a good way to describe this album, you know.
I don't know, in a way I really like a lot of the lyrics in here because they're like, there's not many bands anymore that will like do that, like, oh, my girlfriend, well, I mean, there's, yeah, what did I say? Anyway, there's a lot of bands that like, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me, or oh, I'm gonna kill some whore and write a song about describing it, you know, it just gets old, you know. If you're pissed off, I guess you can listen to that, but their songs are like a dime a dozen, you know. It's like, there's not many bands
It's like
out
an
there.
egg in the cantaloupe.
Like,
That was the stupidest thing I ever
Shut the
heard.
fuck
there's
up,
like,
you're worthless.
I don't know, I feel like this album is kind of like it has some interesting lyrics to it, something that'll like make you read it, and really kind of like you can connect to in a way that's not just like about life, I guess it's about like the things around you. And he makes some good points, I guess. I like some of the points.
What the hell does Intel mean?
Intel? It's
Yeah.
like,
Intellect.
I guess in a way, yeah, it's like intel. It's like a source of information or something.
Yeah.
This has been Weekly Metal Reviews.
Yeah, I give this album an 8 out of 10. What about you?
I give it probably a 7 out of 10. I feel like I agree with what Tyler said. Like, this album has a lot of forgettable songs, and like what I like to call filler songs that they just like went to the studio
Filler's a
and
good
just
way.
busted out like a bunch of riffs and just made a song with it. It was like just a 3-minute like song full of like riffs that wasn't like really produced to be something on the album. It was just to be there on the album.
Yeah.
And to be able to listen to.
Yeah.
And be able to sell and make money for your
What
record.
do you give it?
Probably 8.5 or 9 out of 10.
I just shot it at